heartbreaking details of how Angie Stone lost her life have surfaced in a lawsuit her family has filed. The case names several parties, including the driver of Angie's Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, the truck driver in the accident, the van's owner, the major trucking company CSRT, and Daimler Truck North America, which built the 18-wheeler that hit the van. As the lawsuit draws more attention, other stories are also making the rounds. Some people claim a hidden device was put inside the van, while others believe Tyler Perry may already know the truth about what really happened.
Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything. But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it? It's wrong. It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits.
Months later, this tragedy has taken an unexpected turn, and that's what needs to be addressed. Angie's children, Diamond Stone and Michael D'Angelo Archer, have filed a lawsuit, as mentioned before. The lawsuit claims the truck driver was distracted, wearing headphones to listen to music, and failed to hit the brakes. The family also argues that the truck's collision avoidance system, which should have helped prevent the crash, didn't function properly. According to the lawsuit, other northbound drivers were able to avoid the overturned van because they stayed alert and kept safe speeds. It states the weather was clear and not a factor. Instead, the truck driver failed to watch the road and slammed into the disabled Sprinter van at highway speed without braking. Angie was pinned under the van, fully conscious of her suffering, before eventually losing her life to her injuries. Here's what is known. The van Angie was traveling in from Alabama to Atlanta overturned and was later struck by a semi-truck. Sadly, Angie was the only passenger who didn't survive. The Alabama Highway Patrol reported that the 2021 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter flipped on Interstate 65 at around 4:25 a.m. on Saturday, March 1st, before being hit by a 2021 Freightliner Cascadia, driven by a 33-year-old man from Texas. The driver of the van and 7 passengers were rushed to Baptist Medical Center, but Angie was pronounced dead at the scene. The lawsuit went into detail, describing the pain she endured before her death. Even before the lawsuit, doubts had already surfaced about what really took place. Reports suggested that Sharita Murphy, a backup singer for Regina Bell who was also in the van, believed the accident could have been avoided. She allegedly claimed the driver, Lethal Carter, was speeding and ignored Angie's repeated requests to slow down. Angie reportedly asked why he was rushing so early in the morning, but he insisted he needed to reach Baltimore quickly, even though Angie was the performer scheduled there. Sharita apparently felt the driver should face criminal charges for refusing to drive responsibly. There were also witness accounts of strange noises, like popping sounds similar to gunfire, just before the crash. One witness even said they helped someone, possibly Angie, after the first impact, sharing details that lined up with the report of 2 separate collisions from ALA, which revealed how chaotic the scene became when the 18-wheeler plowed into the van.
Looked up, and there was an 18-wheeler there to cross the median into the other, into oncoming traffic, and I knew that's what hit me and ran over, and brushed over me was the 18-wheeler. And my daughter's freaking out. She'd already called my husband by then and my father-in-law. And I just told her we've got to get to the hospital. I can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe. I'm going to post a video of the 18-wheeler after I left the hospital, driving back through to get to my husband and my son. I will not be posting the vehicle in the video because somebody did pass away. They did. And I won't be posting that.
When news of Angie's death began to spread, a video linked to the crash was suddenly taken down, and many people found that suspicious. Soon after, reports surfaced about a possible sniper being spotted. Witnesses claimed that after the van flipped, the driver, Lethal Carter, made a phone call before returning to the accident scene. On top of that, some said he didn't even have a valid license and ignored Angie's repeated pleas to slow down. As more details came out, the driver's criminal history went viral online, and it painted a troubling picture. In 2002, he had a parole violation. The following year, he faced charges of first-degree forgery along with other forgery cases. In 2000, he was arrested for a misdemeanor. His license had been suspended at one point, and he was caught driving while suspended, as well as using a license unlawfully. He also had several domestic violence cases. Beyond that, his record included arrests for carrying a hidden weapon, drug possession, credit card theft, theft by deception, shoplifting, theft of service, and even burglary, just to list a few. Angie's daughter, Diamond, later revealed that her mother had felt she was being targeted and mentioned it more than once before the crash. It's also worth remembering that only months before the accident, Angie had publicly called out Universal Music Group.
Walking testimony that God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, money that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything.
It turns out Angie didn't know that Universal Music Group had allegedly been taking money from her for decades. Once she discovered it, she made it her mission to speak out. Her connection to Universal went back to her time as a songwriter for MCA in 1990. MCA Inc., which owned MCA Records, was renamed Universal Studios Inc. in 1966, and its music division became Universal Music Group. Angie signed with MCA Universal as a songwriter, and also created the R&B group Vertical Hold under their label. In a surprising claim, she explained that her earnings had been mishandled for over 40 years in the music business. At the start of her video, she shared that she was battling a serious blood infection that forced her to stop touring and seek urgent medical care. While recovering in intensive care, she said she uncovered troubling problems in her financial records. About 15 minutes into the video, she alleged that a large portion of her publishing rights, royalties, and mechanicals had been taken by UMG. After 4 decades in the industry, she wondered why she wasn't receiving the royalties she deserved, only to learn Universal had been collecting them. She said nearly everything was taken from her. In that same video, she spoke with raw disappointment, calling it both negligence and intentional financial wrongdoing.
God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, money that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that
Angie also made it
part.
clear to Universal Music that they would one day have to return the money that belonged to her. She said she was ready to do whatever it took to make sure she was paid for her lifetime of work, not only for herself, but for her children and grandchildren. She also claimed that many of her songs were never properly registered, and that several class action lawsuits connected to those songs were mishandled by the very companies she trusted. Angie revealed that she had a skilled legal team looking into what she believed she was owed, and she warned younger artists about the traps hidden in the music industry. Because of her words, many fans believe her family has every reason to keep pushing this case. The family argues that the crash could have been avoided and wants accountability. Their lawsuit now points out both the failures of human responsibility and modern trucking technology in what should never have happened. On top of this, there are also claims that a device might have been planted in Angie's van, a theory that has alarmed many and raised questions about whether her situation was more dangerous than anyone realized and who might have been behind it. Tyler Perry became part of the story when he gave an emotional eulogy at Angie's memorial. In his tribute, he honored her life but also criticized the music industry for exploiting artists. Speaking to a room filled with grief, he condemned the system that robbed Angie and many others of the money they earned. He spoke not only as a filmmaker and businessman, but as someone who had seen the system up close. Perry said he understood how badly it damaged artists like Angie Stone, who gave the world timeless music but never received income that matched their influence. He even pointed to Angie's song $20, which tells the story of financial hardship. He used it to show the bigger picture, how artists put everything into their music while barely surviving, while corporations make huge profits. He stressed that Angie's story wasn't rare, and that many Black musicians went through the same thing, being denied fair pay while others got rich from their talent. But after Perry's tribute, Monique quickly called him out for being a hypocrite. She argued that while he spoke against unfair treatment of artists, he had labeled her difficult when she refused to work without proper pay. She said his actions cost her millions, even though he admitted privately that she was right. Monique reminded people that Perry promised her a public apology in 2016 but never gave one. She also accused him of asking her to promote Precious without pay. She urged him, as a man of faith, to stand by his words with honesty and accountability, saying he had the power to make things right for her and her family. Because of all this, some now believe Perry might know more about Angie's death than he has publicly said. His emotional words at the funeral left some feeling like he hinted at deeper truths about what Angie was facing. With rumors about a planted device and so many unanswered questions, the Stone family's lawsuit is pushing harder than ever for answers. Their determination shows this case is far from over, and the truth may one day be revealed in court. As for whether Tyler Perry truly knows more than he has shared, that's still uncertain. But what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below.